Hey everybody, Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the Sony PlayStation 4. Now, it's been nearly a decade since Sony released the PlayStation 3, which of course came out after Xbox 360 and arguably gave Microsoft a considerable edge and actually ended up shaping, in large part, the landscape of the gaming industry today. Sony lost a tremendous amount of business to Microsoft as a result of that gap, as well as many other things. Microsoft more aggressive with live service, but now Sony has made sure in this current generation, which again has taken almost a decade, which drives me somewhat mad, but they've made sure to get to market first. So today is launch day for PS4, certainly very exciting. $400 retail, $399.99 gets you the console you're looking at here and that I'm about to unbox. Let me take you around the packaging. You can see right here in the lower right corner, you've got a 500 gigabyte hard drive on board. Of course, you still have a Blu-ray player like last generation, proving that the Blu-ray was, after all, a relevant component to the actual gaming console industry, since it has been now adopted by Microsoft as well. Your included contents right here. You can see we've got essentially the console as well as all of the cables you're going to need. Specifically, we've got the HDMI cable they're including, as well as a USB cable. By the way, we've got USB 3.0 ports on here, as well as an AC power cord, some printed materials. You get your DualShock controller, which has been redesigned, and finally a headset for online play. So that's what comes in the box for $400. Nothing else. Just got this delivered and wanted to share it with all of you. So let's get it out of here. Let's break the seal. And again, I have to reiterate, I have been really upset with how long it's taken. I know that originally when they did launch this generation of console, at least Microsoft made it very clear that they planned on trying to milk it for a decade. I always thought that was somewhat more comical than literal, but as we all know now, they were serious, because it's taken almost 10 years, but we finally have it. And it seems they've done a relatively good job. I can't say that for both companies, as I've only got one right now here in my presence, but there you have it. In terms of specifications, as I try to get this out of the box, well, I'll start with paperwork. You're looking at an AMD-driven experience. Both the processor and GPU are from AMD. It's driven by AMD's Jaguar processor. 8 gigs of RAM, the 500 gig hard drive, as I mentioned, USB 3.0 support, Blu-ray. I mean, this is really a computer at heart, as is the Xbox One. Many will argue, though, that this is the better computer between the two. I'm not making that argument today. Some paperwork, quick start guide, nothing too crazy there. Our redesigned DualShock controller, which now has touch buttons, I should say, touch sensitive surface. So a clear redesign here. Not sure how much I'm going to like this or not. Have to spend some time actually gaming with it before I can give any kind of formal opinion. But, I would say that the Xbox 360 arguably had one of the best controllers ever made. So Sony has a lot to live up to here, especially since Microsoft also redesigned their controller as well. Moving right along, going to get to the power brick here, as well as cables. I think cables first. We've got our included HDMI cable. Nothing too crazy, but good that they have included it. That is the ideal connection. And then we have a micro USB cable right here. And then lastly, it looks like an infrared blaster, I believe. Or no, excuse me, what am I talking about? Didn't see the earpiece there. That is your headset for online play. This doesn't exactly, speak to incredible quality. There's no question that when I think back to older headsets like the original 360, it was certainly a nicer stock included headset than what I just showed there. That looks more along the lines of just a typical cell phone headset. But that's what's nice about this. It is a computer. You can use a variety of different solutions. With that said, let me get the console out of the box, if I can here. And there we have it. So if you haven't already seen this, very industrial design, basically almost like two blocks or stones laying on top of each other, a high piano black gloss finish on the left, matte on the right, so a two-tone look. You can see you've got two of the USB 3.0 ports right there, as well as the actual Blu-ray disc. It's not a, it's a slot loading, so you just pop the disc in there like last gen, nothing new there. And then on the back end of the console, you can see all of the cooling in terms of ventilation, because again, I'm going to reiterate, this is a computer. And then you've got your optical out. We're starting at the left top here, right over there. Optical out for audio, HDMI out, your LAN connection for, of course, Ethernet, and then an auxiliary output. And then finally, lower left corner is the actual port for the power brick. So that pretty much covers the console. I do like the fit and finish of it. It's not incredibly large, but it is kind of what I expected from this generation. Let me go ahead and put this down and get to the balance of what's inside, which is basically, this is it. There is your power brick, because everything is internalized on the PlayStation 4. No giant external brick, as you may have noticed. Nothing else here in the box. So that's one of the niceties of the PlayStation 4. We have an internal power supply. So you're just going to plug this into the wall and you're good to go. So again, really excited to finally see the beginning of next-gen hardware, because I can't tell you how often I have continued to be upset by the fact that both Microsoft and Sony really, in my opinion, dropped the ball on updating hardware. I mean, especially when you consider that they're directly competing with PC, even though PC is not sold on the scale that consoles are. The fact remains that a current gen computer, when compared to even these brand new consoles, can overpower them easily if it's a high-end spec'd machine. So it's been a long time in the coming. Glad to see that we finally have some new consoles. And again, PlayStation making it clear that they knew they had to be first to market with the PlayStation 4. So glad it's finally here. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. And of course, as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.